Will you ever feel like your beauty has faded with age? Perhaps you do not say it aloud, but in quiet moments when you catch your reflection in the mirror, a small voice whispers that time has dimmed your spark. The lines around your eyes, the silver strands in your hair, the slower steps might make you feel unnoticed, unseen, no longer captivating. In a world that endlessly celebrates youth, flawless skin, and perfect figures, it is easy to feel invisible as you grow older. But what if I told you that you are still beautiful, more radiant than ever before? You do not need to look younger to be attractive. You do not need to erase wrinkles or chase fleeting trends to shine. True beauty in this season of life comes not from what you apply to your skin, but from what radiates from your soul. It is in the way you enter a room, the way people lean in when you speak, the calm you bring simply by being present. This is a beauty no one can buy, and time cannot steal. We are living in a moment where beauty is being redefined, not as youth, but as presence, not as appearance, but as character, not as conformity, but as the courage to be unapologetically yourself. Today I want to help you see what you may have overlooked in yourself all along. Here are 7 subtle yet powerful signs that you are still a stunning woman in every way, even if you do not realize it. These signs are not about superficial compliments on your looks, but about how people respond to your energy, wisdom, and presence. If you have ever doubted your worth or wondered if your beauty has faded, stay with me. This might change how you see yourself forever. If this resonates with you, please share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me your experiences or simply say, I am still here. Your voice matters and it helps this message reach other women who need to hear it. Let us begin. Sign 1. Your presence makes people feel safe, and that is true beauty. You may not notice it, but if people open up to you, gravitate toward you in conversation, or confide in you, you are radiating one of the most profound forms of beauty. This is not the beauty of perfect features or youthful glow. It is deeper, richer a beauty that offers emotional safety and quiet confidence. This kind of allure cannot be painted on with makeup or achieved through cosmetic treatments. It is cultivated through years of listening, understanding, and being present for others. It comes from having lived, loved, lost, and learned. That experience gives you something rare, a presence that puts people at ease. Consider Grace, a 70-year-old volunteer at her local library reading group. She does not dress to stand out or speak loudly to draw attention. Yet every week, young mothers sit closer to her teens, linger to chat after sessions, and even staff seek her out for casual conversation. Grace was puzzled at first, until a young woman said, "Talking to you makes me feel like I am not alone." In that moment, Grace realized she offered more than stories or smiles, she offered emotional refuge. This is not uncommon for women who have grown into themselves with age. Research supports this. A study in psychology and aging found that older adults often exhibit greater emotional stability and interpersonal insight, making them naturally attuned to others' feelings. This does not just make you a good listener, it makes you magnetic in the most authentic way. A 2020 personal branding blog article noted, women who become more attractive with age often develop behaviors like active listening, offering thoughtful perspectives, and radiating warmth without seeking validation. These traits do not come from chasing beauty standards. They come from knowing who you are and being grounded in that truth. Society often overlooks this kind of beauty, focusing instead on youth, smooth skin, and glamour. But in everyday life, the people who leave lasting impressions are those who create a safe space simply by being themselves. Have you ever felt someone look at you with respect, not because of your outfit, but because of your energy? Has anyone said, "I feel better after talking to you"? These are not just compliments. They are proof that you make people feel seen, heard, and valued. This ability does not fade with age. It grows stronger. The wisdom you have gained, the calm that comes from no longer needing to impress, and the emotional clarity you have cultivated all enhance your presence. You do not need to command a room to be noticed. Sometimes your silence, stillness, or steady attention is enough to make others feel safe. If people share their worries with you, linger in your conversations, or thank you for listening, know this: it is not just politeness. It is a sign that your beauty still shines, perhaps more brightly than ever. Your presence is a soft haven in a loud world. That is unforgettable, and it is one of the most powerful signs that you are a truly beautiful woman. Sign 2. Younger women admire your confidence in being yourself. You might not notice it. You might think your wardrobe is too simple, your hairstyle too plain, or your makeup too subtle to turn heads. But then, out of nowhere, a younger woman says, "I hope I carry myself like you when I am older," or "That necklace looks beautiful on you," or "You are so elegant." You are caught off guard, unsure how to respond. These moments are more than compliments. They are quiet acknowledgments of a powerful beauty that does not shout for attention, but leaves a lasting impression. Let us meet Rowena, a 6-year-old artist from Portland. She no longer wears high heels. Her silver hair is tied in a low bun, and her clothes, linen and cotton in neutral tones, are chosen for comfort, not trends. She follows her own rhythm. At a local cafe, a college student stopped her and said, "I love your coat. It is the kind of timeless look I wish I could pull off." Rowena smiled, thanked her, and moved on. But it happened again the next week, and the week after. Women in their 20s and 30s admiring her clothes, her demeanor, her choices. They were not just admiring the fabric or cut of her coat. They were drawn to the ease with which she wore it, the comfort in her skin, the confidence that comes from knowing who you are and no longer needing permission to be it. Psychology today explains that self-perception shifts with age, and for women, confidence often grows in later decades. Dr. Vivian Diller, a psychologist specializing in aging and beauty, writes, "The pressure to prove yourself fades. You dress not to impress, but to express." That subtle shift makes all the difference, and people notice. Younger women face constant pressure to be perfect, polished, and youthful. When they see you, someone who walks into a room without apology, who dresses for herself rather than trends, who wears joy and contentment as her finest accessories. It is not just inspiring, it is liberating. Your elegance, your intentionality, your refusal to hide your age. These are bold acts in a world obsessed with staying young. A 23 Medium article, "Why Older Women Are the New Style Icons," notes that fashion is shifting. Young women are now turning to their grandmothers, not celebrities, for inspiration. It is not about looking young, it is about looking real. And realness is something you embody effortlessly. It is in the way you choose clothes that move with you, not constrain you. It is in how you wear flats instead of heels, yet walk taller than anyone else. It is in how you accessorize with memories, a bracelet from a trip decades ago, a scarf from a dear friend, giving your style a story no store can sell. Younger women watch you more closely than you realize, not to copy you exactly, but because they hope to one day stop second-guessing themselves as you have. So the next time a younger woman comments on your style, posture, or calm, see it as more than a compliment. It is a reflection of how your self-acceptance shines through. You may not have set out to be a role model, but you have become one. Your style is not just about clothing, it is about claiming your space in the world as you are, and that is undeniably beautiful. Sign 3. People listen when you speak, because your words carry weight. Not everyone is truly heard. In a noisy world of quick opinions and constant interruptions, there is something powerful about a woman who speaks with clarity and commands attention without raising her voice. If you have ever shared an idea and felt the room pause, or noticed someone lean in when you speak, that is not just courtesy, it is a sign of your magnetic presence. This is what happened to Marisol, a 71-year-old woman who was never the loudest in the room. She does not jump into debates or try to outshine others. But when she speaks, people notice at her book club, her church, even in casual chats at the grocery store. They ask follow-up questions, nod thoughtfully, and later quote her words. Not because she is trying to impress, but because she speaks with purpose and conviction. One evening, a young woman at a dinner party told her, "You make me feel like everything you say matters, like I should slow down and think before I respond." Marisol smiled. She had spent her younger years fighting to be heard. Now, she had become someone people did not want to miss. This is not rare. A 21 University of Michigan study on conversational dynamics found that people value contributions from those who speak slowly and deliberately, especially when they show emotional intelligence, a trait that often strengthens with age. Your words carry weight because they are shaped by decades of experience tested by life and delivered with compassion. You speak without needing to dominate. You share opinions forged through time, pausing to reflect rather than filling silence for the sake of it. That is not just maturity, it is charisma. In a society where youth is loud and fast, a woman who speaks with certainty and care stands out. Your words are not just heard, they are felt. There is also power in how you look at people when you speak. Your calm, focused eye contact says, "I am here, and I see you." Harvard Business Review notes that purposeful, warm eye contact builds trust, authenticity, and connection qualities that deepen with age. So, the next time you are in a group and feel eyes turn to you, not because you are loud or flashy, but because they value what you say, take note. That is not just respect, it is recognition of your wisdom, your steadiness, your presence. It is one of the clearest signs that you are still deeply, beautifully compelling. Sign 4. The way you carry yourself speaks before you do. She wore nothing extraordinary, just a loose ivory blouse, well-cut trousers, and soft leather shoes. Her silver hair was tucked into a simple twist, her face bare of noticeable makeup. She was not trying to make a statement, yet everyone noticed when she walked into the room. No one could pinpoint why. It was not beauty in the conventional sense. It was something else, her posture, her pace, her calm. That woman could be you. If you have ever been told you have such presence or you carry yourself so gracefully, it reflects a rare kind of beauty that cannot be manufactured. It is in how you move through the world. As we age, our appearance changes, but posture, movement, and expression become powerful communicators of self-worth. Research in Frontiers in Psychology shows that body language and posture shape social perceptions. People judge trustworthiness, authority, and attractiveness based on how we carry ourselves, often within seconds. With age, this perception grows stronger when confidence and comfort shine through. When you stand tall without needing to prove anything, when you move with intention rather than haste, you project quiet strength. You are saying, "I know who I am." This is not about being slim, flexible, or cinematic. It is about owning your body as it is without apology or shame. Take Florence, a 74-year-old who walks daily to the farmer's market and practices Tai Chi for balance. She refuses a cane not out of pride, but because she trusts her body. People often compliment her posture, her straight back, steady steps, and lifted gaze. She says little in social settings, yet people watch her and younger women ask her secret. Her secret. She takes up space fully and unapologetically. In a culture that often expects older women to fade into the background, your posture, literal and metaphorical, is an act of resistance. It is visibility. It is dignity embodied. Fashion fades, hairstyles change, but how you carry yourself lingers in people's memories. When you enter a room with relaxed shoulders, a steady gaze, and centered presence, you declare, "I belong here." Others feel it, even if they cannot explain why. If someone has complimented not what you wear, but how you wear it, not your voice, but the silence that follows your words, pause and absorb it. Your physical presence is not a shadow of who you were. It is the full expression of who you have become. Sign 5. Your confidence without seeking validation draws people. And there is a moment, perhaps you have felt it, when something shifts inside you. It is gradual, but one day you realize you are no longer dressing for approval. You do not adjust your tone to please others. You do not wait for someone to say, "You are enough." You simply are. You have stopped performing, apologizing, or trying to fit a mold that was never yours. And somehow, that quiet self-acceptance makes you more magnetic than ever. This is one of the clearest signs that you are a truly beautiful older woman, even if you do not see it. When you move through the world without needing to be noticed, you are noticed even more. Not because you demand attention, but because your energy is grounded, steady, and certain. People feel it even if they cannot name it. Consider Irene, a 69-year-old retiree who spent her career in a field where appearances mattered: styled hair, polished smiles, measured words. Retirement gave her space to paint, wear what feels good, and speak only when she wants to. Ironically, more people are drawn to her now than ever. Neighbors stop to chat, younger women seek her out at workshops, and strangers strike up conversations. Why? Because Irene does not need attention, and that makes her fascinating. A 2020 study in the Journal of Adult Development found that women over 60 with strong self-concept clarity, knowing and embracing who they are, reported higher life satisfaction and were seen as more engaging and confident regardless of appearance. The world notices when you stop trying so hard. You notice it too. You feel lighter, laugh more easily, and look in the mirror with appreciation, not just critique. You admire the woman who has navigated decades of expectations, heartbreaks, and reinventions, realizing she was never broken, just unfinished. Now you are whole. In that wholeness, you become a mirror for others. By no longer chasing validation, you give others permission to stop chasing too. Younger women see you and think, "Maybe I do not have to exhaust myself to be liked." Older women see you and think, "Maybe it is not too late to fully become myself." You are not doing this to be admired, but that is why you are. if people treat you with quiet respect, if your presence softens a room, if others seek your thoughts without you offering them, recognize what that means. Your beauty is no longer about meeting expectations. It is about embodying truth. Nothing is more attractive than a woman who no longer needs permission to be powerful. Sign 6. Your warmth draws people in even before they know you. Have you ever walked into a room and felt someone smile at you before you made eye contact? Perhaps a stranger held the door with unexpected kindness, or a cashier spoke to you with warmth. You did not say much, you did not need to. Something about you put them at ease. This is one of the most overlooked signs of lasting beauty. Your warmth draws people in. It is not a performance or something you wear like jewelry, it is who you have become. Think of the women you remember most. They likely were not the most fashionable or striking, but the ones who made you feel seen, who asked how you were, and meant it, whose eyes said, "You are safe here." You might be that woman now, even if you do not realize it. Meet Carmen, a 73-year-old who never considered herself beautiful in the traditional sense. She wears soft cardigans, has a voice like chamomile tea, and remembers the name of every waiter at her favorite cafe. People talk to her everywhere, strangers on benches, kids in stores, even hurried passers-by who slow down around her. When asked why, she shrugs, "Maybe I just have that kind of face." But it is not her face, it is the space she creates for others effortlessly. A 2019 study in The Gerontologist found that older adults with high interpersonal warmth shown through generosity, responsiveness, and eye contact were perceived as more attractive across all ages. The key: their warmth was authentic, not forced or strategic. This magnetism comes from years of practicing empathy, sitting with others in their pain, listening more than speaking, and knowing when to offer advice or simply say, "I am here." It is woven into your presence, making you beautiful in the highest sense. Younger people sense it not because you are trying to impress them, but because you are not. In a world of performance and noise, you offer a steady voice, a kind nod, a smile that says, "You matter." People open up to you, quickly share things they did not plan to, and linger in your presence like it is sunlight on a cold day. If someone has said, "You are so easy to talk to," or "I feel like I can trust you," know this: you are not invisible. You are the quiet center in a noisy world, and people feel it, even if they cannot name it. Sign 7. People still look at you, and it is not by accident. You were not trying to be noticed. Maybe you were picking tomatoes at the market, sipping coffee at a quiet table, or walking through the park, lost in thought. But then it happened, a glance held a second too long. Someone looked at you with curiosity, appreciation, a soft instinct that said, "There is something about her." You might have brushed it off thinking they were just polite, or "They mistook me for someone else." But what if you stopped dismissing those moments? What if you believed the attention was real? Because it is. One of the quietest yet most honest signs of enduring beauty is that people still look at you, not because you look young, but because you look alive. There is a story in your face, a presence in your posture, a calmness in your movements that says, "I know who I am, and I do not need to prove it." Take May, a 67-year-old retired lawyer who spends her days reading, gardening, and visiting museums. She does not wear bold colors or seek attention, but when she enters a space, people look not because she demands it, but because her stillness makes them pause. She once told her granddaughter, "People stare because they are not used to seeing a woman who is not rushing anywhere." That is it not? In a world of motion, you are unhurried. In a world of noise, you are quiet. In a world of performance, you are real. And people are drawn to that. Younger women look at you wondering how you have become so sure of yourself. Men of all ages sense something rare, a beauty that does not beg for acknowledgement and is all the more captivating for it. A recent The Cut article quotes behavioral psychologist Dr. Helen Fisher. Attraction is not always about symmetry or features. It is about energy, the way a person inhabits their body, and the emotional temperature they carry. That is what people see in you. They may not compliment you aloud. They may not even realize what drew their eyes, but they see something and it lingers. So the next time you catch someone watching you, holding a door with extra softness, or glancing back as you pass, do not doubt it. Do not explain it away. You are luminous in your fullness, and people cannot help but notice. A new way to see yourself. Now that we have explored these 7 signs, perhaps you are starting to see yourself differently. Maybe you have realized that even if you do not wear the latest fashion, even if your hair has turned silver, even if your body has changed, people still notice you. They feel warmth in your presence, respect your words, admire your style, and find calm in your energy. That is not by accident. That is beauty, not the kind on magazine covers, but the kind that stays in people's hearts. If you have looked in the mirror and wondered, am I still beautiful? The answer is a resounding yes. Yes, because you have lived. Yes, because you have grown. Yes, because you no longer chase approval, and that confidence shines brighter than anything else. You are still turning heads, inspiring others, and radiating a beauty that only deepens with time.